Hello everybody. So today we will see how to draw the line chart in LaTeX. Okay, so we will see how to draw the line chart in LaTeX. So by taking a simple example. So first let me open the sample doc. So in the LaTeX. So whatever the content you may have, in between the content also you can include the line chart. So the other way is that you draw the line chart or any graphs from the Excel sheet. So then you'll be including them as images in our LaTeX document. But here today I'll be showing you that how to create the line chart in the LaTeX directly. Fine. So just I'll remove the content, whatever I don't need. So a simple, a sample document I have creating with the document class. As usual, I'm mentioning that article. So because I am creating a sample article right now. Fine. So right now, so for creating an image, so see what I'm saying in a sense, inside this, you may have any content. Inside the begin, you may have any content followed by in between. If at all, if you say that if you are having so and so data like this, okay, then later inside the section, say for example, results. So this is where I wanted to include. So it follows some content. I'm saying it follows the um, result chart. You can have anything. So that content should be should be followed by your line chart. If that is the case, how to insert that? That's what I want to demonstrate today. Fine. Now, first, let me use the package which is required for this. So I'll just use package. Yeah, use package. So which is that package I'll be using in the sense it is PGF plots. I'll be using PGF plots. So once after I'm done with giving that use package PGF plots. So as I would like to insert the line chart right here, right over here. So this is where I will have to create, begin my picture. What picture? So how to begin? So you can observe right here. So for your information, let me maximize this. Now you can see this is where I have used the PGF plots. So now let me begin. I'm beginning that picture. So that picture I am calling here as TKZ. Okay, TIKZ picture. So I'm starting that picture right here. So which I'll be covering between the end. Hope you know that whatever we begin, we must end as well. So between this begin and end picture, so now I have to begin the axis. So how many axes? Definitely I'll be using the 2 axes. So I'll say that axis. So I'm beginning the axis right here, which I'll be ending as well, right? So whatever the axis I'm beginning here, which I'll be ending here. So between this begin and end axis, I will have to draw my picture, right? So when I begin my axis, it is me who has to define the minimum and the maximum values on the x-axis and the y-axis, because the axis dimension axis dimension and coordinate values we must specify. I'll say that x min is equal to 0. Similarly, x max, so the maximum, yeah, 0. So the maximum and the x, let me consider it as anything you can consider. Let me consider it as 30, right? I mean is equal to I'll start from 0. Y max is equal to, I'll say 10. Anything you can consider, right? So that's how I made. So what is the value? What is the minimum value in the x-axis? What is the maximum value in the y-axis? I have defined. So let me also specify the label for x-axis. So when I specify the label for the x-axis, let me as an example, as I'll say that number of devices. So I'm mentioning that number of devices as x-axis label. Similarly, let me define the label for y-axis also. So when I define the y-axis label, so as of now, if I say that y-axis, it can be anything. So you can consider the computation cost. As an example, I'm taking you. It is left to you. You whatever the case studies based on your results, right? So you can consider. Okay, so I'm considering that computation cost. So which I measure in on seconds. Fine. So computation cost in the second. So I'm defining for y-axis. So that's how what I did. So what we did, so we defined the x-min and the x-max, y-min and y-max. Label for the x-axis I had given us number of devices. Similarly, label for the y-axis I had given us computation cost. Right. So I'm done with defining the two axes. You can observe. Okay, so we are not specified the what values to be defined, so only it is throwing you the error. Fine. So let us go ahead. Before we go ahead, so this is what. So let me clarify. Yes. So defining the x label and y label, we are done with it. Now let us draw a line. So when we draw a line, so I am using odd plot. I repeat, odd plot. So this is where I have to start providing the values as we call it as coordinates, right? So this is where I have to start providing the coordinates. So where exactly the points has to be placed. So whatever the number of points you would like to place. So but where exactly you want to place the points, which I have to mention. Fine. 0, I'll say first point, let me place it on 0.0 itself, which where I am starting from the origin. And next point, I would like to place on the x-axis, let me place on 5, value 5, and the y-axis, let me place at 1. It's left to you. You can also vary. So x-axis 10 and y-axis 2. Okay, quite simple, right? So x-axis 3. Okay, like this, you can place the points. Okay, like this, you can place the points. So let me run now. Whatever the coordinates values we have defined right now. Fine. Okay, so okay, one more thing. This is why exactly. Okay, this is where whatever we opened right here, right? So there is not closed here. That is why it is throwing you error. So whatever I have opened this square bracket, which I supposed to close here. Yeah, guys, so I hope you can see now. So this is the line chart which is drawn. For your information, even if I don't have this, I would say if I don't use this, in that case also, a line chart, you know what we say that a template will be displayed. So earlier, because of this, it was not displaying. Now you can observe. So a template is ready where where you have to start placing. So right now also you can vary this x-min and x-max and the label, all that you can observe. See label for the x-axis, label for the y-axis, everything is fixed, right? So now if we move on, so if I remove this and if I place, so for suppose if I place one more, you know, uh, if I want to have one more line, so like this I can have. But now as the values are so common, so you will get that both the lines are the same. You can observe both the lines are the same. So let me change this at the 5. Let me take it to 2. At the 10, let me make it to 3. I'm just taking an example, media. So you can change however you want. Okay, so I'll just 20 comma 4 here, whereas here 20 comma 5. Similarly, I'll say 25. Yeah, 25 comma 5. So whereas here 25 comma 6. It is left to you how many, whatever the number of lines you would like to draw, you can keep drawing. Making sense? So that's how within the result section, wherever you would like to draw the line chart like this, you can keep drawing, right? So you can observe, so defaultly it will only assign you the color for the respective line chart and also the markings. What you observe, this is what you call it as the marks, right? So here the dots and the dollar symbols, which is square symbols, which are defaultly it has been drawn. If at all if you want, for your information, if at all if you want to be make it for your specific, I don't need the colors and the tick marks whatever it is given by them, so I want it to be in a different way. In such case, can I do something? Definitely you can. So this is where, for suppose the first line, if I want it to be in the different way what I want, in such case what you do, okay, you draw, you make use of the draw is equal to, so early default it is blue color, right? So if I want something like example like black color, you can use as black. Similarly, I don't want just normal line like this. If I want a very thick line, okay, use it as thick. At the same time, if I want the finishing to be very smooth, I'll make it as a smooth. finishing. Similarly, if I don't want this, markings has to be circles like this. I want in a different fashion. So if I want like a star, okay, use it as star. Now you see, I'll run it. So whatever the color and the markings, everything it was as a default. So everything is change. Everything would be changed. So let me check it. So yeah, and draw is equal to black color. So which is then thick, smooth. Okay, mark is equal to star. So no, this part, correct. This part I have to give it here. Good. Yes. So before I start with the coordinates, so whenever I start with the art plot, so for that plot, what are all the dimensions or attributes which I supposed to set? That there I have to set. Then later coordinate values will begin, right? So now, if you see this, yeah, quite simple. Now can you see this? So everything has been changed. So it has changed as black color and everything has been changed. So like this. So for this line also, if you want to make it differently, then use the same thing. What color you want, what, how finishing, how exactly it has to be finished, what marking you want, everything you can provide for this line as well. Like that, any number of lines you can keep drawing. That's what multi lines can be included in your chart, right? So for any value. So if you ask me, is it only always decimal numbers you want to give? Can't you provide the floating numbers in this? Definitely you can provide. So definitely I can say 6.5. This is 5.2. So this is a 4.1. I can see what I'm saying in the sense, what values you provide, it should be between these x min, x max, y min, y max. But points providing the floating values and all, it is left to you. See like this, you can see now this line is not straight. It's somewhere it is, different. So that's how. So it is between within these values, x min, x max, y min, y max, you can provide, right? And this chart, whatever the line chart you got, if at all if you want it to be a grid chart, okay, I repeat, if you want it to be a grid chart, then provide that grid is equal to both. I say it as grid is equal to both. When I say grid is equal to both x-axis and y-axis will become grid chart, right? So both x-axis and the y-axis will become grid chart. So quite simple, right? So can you observe this? So now it has become a grid chart where the grid lines have been drawn for both the x-axis and the y-axis. So that's how you will be, you can draw any number of lines like this, and also you can also so you can provide, you can also vary the colors, markings, everything for your line. Say for example, I don't need star, I want plus symbol. Okay, so wherever the markings are required, so there instead of the dots, so it will become like a plus symbols. So likewise you can keep changing. So I hope it is visible for you all. See how the markings have been changed as plus. So anything if you want, it is based on your customization or based on your requirement, you can start customizing, right? So that's what. So whatever, fix the boundary. I say fix the boundary of your chart. Boundary of chart. How to fix the chart? Then how to define the x-axis, x and y-axis. So that we saw. Then making to be a grid lines we saw. Then how to draw the lines. Okay, draw the lines based on the points, then also I have shown you how to customize the what do we say, color, customize the lines like colors, markings, all that, right? That's what we saw, right? Anything else we saw? So that's it. So those are all the things which we saw right now. So we saw the nomenclature for both x-axis and the y-axis. When you define x-axis and y-axis with the names, I can say it as with names you have, you can provide, right? So then what else we can, you want on this line chart in the sense, for suppose if you want names, what exactly, because whenever you'll be comparing your results with your any of your papers, any of the existing papers, in such case you can compare. Let me show you that. So let me take up one more line so that it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, so I'll say that okay, at 2.5, this is, I'll say that 3.5, this is 4.5. It's only example case I'm saying, my dear. That's it, nothing specific I'm saying, I'm considering. Okay, so what I'm trying to convey right now in the sense comparison. So for suppose in your papers you'll be comparing, right? So if whenever you'll be comparing, so when I say comparison, comparison process. That's what I'll say, comparison charts in your line. So whenever I want to compare my proposed work with the previous existing two works, in such case, what should I do? In the sense that is where for that you have to define the legend. I'll say legend. So you need to define the legend. What is this legend all about? In the sense, say for example, among these three lines, so if my line is this black one, so where I am proving that my line is effective as compared to the other two, where the computation cost of my work is less than compared to the other two. That's how if I am proving. So in such case, I have to use this legend, right? So which actually give you the nomenclature for those works, whatever you are carried out. Okay, how to provide the legend in your in your line chart as usual. So we have a tag which is legend. So this is where you need to start defining the names. So as this is what my first line is, my work. Okay, as I'm considering, if I am assuming that first line is my work, then I will say that. So I'll say the proposed work. Then if second word key is somewhere by some so and so authors, I'll say XYZ, then ABC, like this. So how many lines you have drawn? So those many names you provide. I repeat, how many lines you have drawn, those many names you provide, and semicolon. So once after you do this, you can observe a legend where the nomenclature for these three lines will be appeared in your line chart. That's what the legend purpose, right? You can observe this. You can observe. So this my black line is my proposed work, and the other two works are previous existing work. That's how I'm comparing and proving that my work is effective, right? So yeah, that's what about the legend. Yeah, guys. So if at all, if you want even more information, per suppose, like if I want to include, okay, if I want to include citation, my what my graph. So what I'm talking about in the sense, I hope you know this, right? So you can before you end the document, you can include the references. So by using the bibliography, let me include that. So begin the bibliography, right? The bibliography. So yeah, the bibliography. Quite good. So yeah, where I can mention any number, 8, 9, anything. So this is where I'll say that if I say bib item, okay, C1. And here the any whatever the references you have given, right, from the either it can be any kind of references you will take up, right? So it can be what in the in the different order of citations, like it can be a PA citation or MLA citation, whatever it can be. So if I say XYZ for only for now, and I'll end this bibliography right now. So I'll end this, right? So now what I'm trying to convey in the sense, however you can provide the citations inside the content of or a body of your paper. See, this XYZ paper is there, right? So you can, I hope you know this, right? You can provide, say for example, it is okay, it is cited as reference by something like this. You'll be citing the papers, right? So what is the name of the citations I given? C1. Yeah, C1. So like this you will be giving, right? So that you can also do in the it's a chart also. That's what which I am showing you. So I can say that what I'm saying in a sense, after I provide the legend, I'm telling you that citation inside the chart. This is a very very unique thing which I'm showing you. Cite how to provide the citations inside the chart once after the chart is prepared. Okay. Yeah. So this is okay. Okay, this is name I have given as C1. This is C1, right? Now, if I run this, you can observe. So whatever the citation here we are giving, right? We have in the references, which is XYZ. You can observe which is one is being displayed here. It's like this, instead of I display as XYZ, if I want to provide the ABC, I would say if I want to provide that 1, 2, 3, that two. So if this citation is only okay, it is not indexed. So let me use that hyperref. Use package. Use package hyper ref. Okay, ref. So right now, so now you can observe. So if I run this, yeah. So Now quite good, you can observe. So it is, this is the actual standard way of citing. I hope you know this, right? Now so what I'm saying in the sense, however, here it is cited, right? So even if you click here, so it will go to the reference. So this kind of citation, is it possible inside the chart? In the sense, definitely it is possible. Just whatever you have XYZ, right? Instead of XYZ, you provide that site one, site of C1. However, you provide within the content. Similarly, you provide within the legend. So now let me run this. So if I run this, if you can observe clearly that you see instead of XYZ, it will replace with the one. Can you observe this? It will be replaced with one. And if I click here, it will go to the respective references. But at the same time, if you want both name and the citations, so sometimes if you don't want to stick on to only the numbers, like reference numbers, if you want the name also, okay, provide as XYZ followed by that, you will be having this, right? So you provide like this. So, okay, it automatically it will provide. So you give like this XYZ followed by that site of one. So what happens? So whatever the citations you are providing within the graph, so when it will be having both the name and also reference, it will where it is indexed to the reference. See like this, name is there, reference is, if you click there, it will take you to the references. Okay, last point for the today thing is that, so when in some time, legend. In such case, what to do, I'll show you. So before I'll show the solution, I'm showing you the problem. Now you see, so this legend is default, it will be there on the top right corner. So but what is happening is, so it is overriding the lines which you can't able to see. What to do? So you push this either to here. Okay, so because this is empty space, right? You can push this, move this legend to anywhere. You can move this legend to either left corner or the bottom right corner. So that how to do that in a sense. So here, whenever you'll be defining the axis, right? So this is where you have to define the legend position also. I'll say legend position. So legend space POS position. I'll say north west. It is as same as northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. Hope you know that's right. North. This is north, this is south, this is west, this is east. So I have given us northwest. When I say northwest, you can observe this has moved here. That's how you can place the legend anywhere. Okay, so in this, now I told you, I gave you how to provide the citations inside the chart, which is very very unique. And also positioning of the legend also I told you. So how to set it, as I mentioned. So if I want here, okay, then I have to give the south and east. So whatever I have given this northwest. So if I want to be if I want this legend to come here, then I give south east. So then it will come and sit here. Okay, that's how you can move the legend on in your chart. Fine. So that's how you can have a multi-line chart with the respective legend and citations, everything. That's whatever we covered in the today's session. Okay, thank you.